What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're jumping into Absolute Power by DC Comics, but this one is unique. This is Absolute Power Origins. We are getting the origin story, finally getting the origin story of Amanda Waller. We get to learn exactly where all of this animosity for superheroes came from, why she has been so hell-bent on taking down metas for as long as we can remember, becoming essentially one of the most ultimate villains that DC Comics has ever had. Now we get to learn how she got to power. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so Amanda Waller's origin story really starts us the same exact night that Bruce Wayne lost his parents. The same exact night that Joe Kill had pulled that trigger is the night that changed Amanda Waller's life forever. Now, for Bruce Wayne, this is the night he swore that he was going to avenge his parents' death, that he would spend his life warring on all criminals. Amanda Waller had lost her daughter, a man by the name of Candyman. And so some years later, Amanda Waller's husband caught up with the guy. Her husband Joe caught up with him and he gunned down Candyman. This was around the same time that Batman started patrolling Gotham. Now, while Joe was able to gun down Candyman, Joe was also shot. Joe was killed. And so with Jim Gordon talking to all of Gotham, letting them know about Joe Kill being taken down, that he has finally been apprehended. Unfortunately for Amanda Waller, what's going on for her right now is not such good news. Amanda Waller's husband died while he was commission of a felony, walked into a public space, shot a man dead. Even though that man had raped and killed their daughter, the police were never able to prove this. The killer was wearing a mask, but Waller insists that everybody knows it was Candyman. But he tells Waller that everybody knows, just doesn't cut it in court. She insists that they do their job and get the evidence. But the detective tells her that she might want to leave this alone. Candyman was a dealer. Now he's questioning what her daughter was doing around a guy like this. Amanda Waller even harder for her because she still has children, ones that need to be taken care of. Life insurance will not pay out if her husband had been committing a crime at the time of his death. While all this time, Jim Gordon goes on to talk about rumors of masked vigilantes acting on not behalf of the police, but what they believe is right. He will say that a citizen has a right to intervene in the commission of a felony, that if they have a problem with that, they can take it up with the Constitution. Obviously, this goes against everything the police had just told her. It was this moment she realized she had to do something, that she could do something other people couldn't. She could see what was going to happen in the future. From this moment on, she dedicated her life, all of it, to the cause. She dug through all the political files, everything on Candyman, everything the department had. She dug so deep and she found out the truth. Unable to stop, unable to do nothing any longer, she gets involved in politics. Councilman Marvin Collins. She volunteers to do all kinds of work for this man. She works day and night. Having a poli-sci degree, she is able to do anything that really is needed of her. Her husband has a stance against vigilantes. Of course, Amanda Waller has backed everything, put all her eggs into the basket of stopping vigilantism. If her husband hadn't tried to be a vigilante, he wouldn't have died. Seeing Batman getting away with it, this is what was a trigger for her. This is what made her do all of this. This is what started her crusade against superheroes. And so Amanda Waller worked day and night. There was nothing stopping her commitment, her will to the cause. She would be there before anybody else, and she would leave while everybody else had already gone hours beforehand. We also see her working on the beginning stages of Project X. But what they all didn't know is that Amanda Waller, she had a deeper secret. She's not doing all this work to get some councilman elected. Not really. She's working for somebody else. This somebody else gives her a thumb drive, gives her the resources that she needs, and she takes this to the councilman. This has photos of the opponent doing things that shouldn't be watched by prying eyes. Nothing illegal so much as just weird, but she's giving this to him because this is going to be their opportunity to ensure that he wins and his initiatives can get pushed through. And at first, he refuses to use it. He refuses to go against his principles. But this is when Amanda Waller brings out his secrets. This man wanting to pretend that his hands are clean, that he wants to stand on principles. But he was the reason people like Candyman ran the streets. In fact, Marvin was taking a cut of Candyman's actions. She saw the police files. Waller buried her children. She buried her husband because the man standing before her was unable to do the job he was elected to do, a corrupt man. And so what Amanda Waller wants is for him to continue to be that man, to use these photos to win the election, because Amanda Waller is dead set on him winning, on pushing through vigilante initiatives to stop them from ever being able to rise up. And through him, this will open the corridors of power, ones that she is going to walk through. And so, with all this taking place, the election day happens. Marvin becomes a congressman, and so her fight for the future, it began with a prayer. She swore to avenge her family by spending the rest of her life going to war with every single one of these people. This is the war to end all wars. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright, so it's pretty cool to finally get a origin story with Amanda Waller in this capacity. The downside is, it's not a really good origin story. Like, I get where she's coming from. Her daughter was murdered by Candyman. Her son murdered by gang activity. Her father, or her husband, her daughter's father, murdered by Candyman. But I feel like this should have put her down the path that Batman went on. How did it lead her down the path of vigilantes or the bad guys? Vigilantes is exactly what your husband did. The cops just didn't work in his benefit, which there's an argument to be had there. But instead of supporting vigilantes like your husband who brought justice to your daughter's rape and murder, your goal is to go in the opposite direction to fight against vigilantes? I don't know if I can make that make sense in my head, regardless of the trauma that I may be going through at the time, and then to continue on this for a lifetime, to become such a horrible individual that you plant bombs in the brains of people. And maybe you justify this because they're people like Candyman, and so they don't deserve to live. But again, you're becoming the vigilante. You've done it here. You've done it with absolute power. Now, I'm not even saying that this story is needing or wants to justify Amanda Waller in any sense, but the logic connecting Amanda Waller to the person she is today from the person she was back then, it just doesn't connect well. It doesn't make sense. If anything, Amanda Waller should have gone in the complete opposite direction and become more like Batman. Supported vigilantes. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's something that you guys can explain to me on how this makes sense, on how Amanda Waller became the person she is that is so anti-superhero, so anti-meta. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with absolute power, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you're getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.